explaining how it was the woman's fault because she might have been wearing some perfume or some other such thing. And I read that, and I thought that I was going to, that I might have to just go and kill me a lawyer. I got no problem with lawyers, but this guy's he's a lawyer with his wife. They live in Pacific Heights, and they've got these mastiffs, these pieces of crap. I don't know what these dogs are. That, you see, my philosophy is very simple, and we're going to be talking about this later on in the show. It's very simply this: animal bites a human, you kill it. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. If you think I'm joking, I'm not. People who are really into animals don't like other human beings. You see this more times than you want to talk about it. People who really got a thing for dogs and cats and birds and reptiles, you know, you've seen these people? They hate human beings. They hate other human beings. It's all about their dog. And the lack of rationale that comes with a human who has a dog that killed a human being. Why that person wouldn't want to have that dog put down immediately? The guy was only, there's only one reason. He's a colossal world record-breaking imbecile with no morality to boot. If I had a dog that was responsible for the death of another human being, I would put that thing out of its misery with a 9-iron. With my car. Barring a firearm, which I do not own, I would run that bloody thing over with my car. And when an animal attacks a human being, I don't care if it's a little bite, 'cause he's just my little poopsie. He just nipped you. Oh, he did. He just nipped me. You're right. He just nipped me. What are you doing? I'm throwing it under the wheels of that van. See it? Right there. Your little poopsie, huh? Your little baby, your little doll, you freak. Make human relationships. Make some human contact. Get a husband. Get a wife. Find some friends. Your poopsie is going into that cage, and the cage, I'm rolling down that hill, into that river. I worked in an animal hospital when I was a kid. When I was like in my high school years, I worked in a bloody animal hospital. These people would bring their dogs in. Get a load of this. You'll love this story. They'd bring their dogs in. And it would be all about how this is a little poopsie. Now, most of the dogs were great and the cats were wonderful. I like animals, okay? Not to the exclusion of human beings. I don't spend my whole day with cats and dogs, and I got food dishes all around the house, and the joint stinks like a freaking, like a kennel. But I like animals as far as they go. They're okay. I got a cat. We got a rat. Hope to get a dog one of these days. I'd like to get a retriever. I'm like most guys. I'd like to get a retriever because it's masculine, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not holding my breath, you know? So I used to work for this animal hospital, and they'd bring in their little doggies. You know, some woman, she's about 75, she's got on 14 pounds of makeup, looks like a well-kept grave, and she's holding the dog like it's a baby. I mean, you know how you hold babies? She's holding it like the thing's a baby. And she mentioned something to me, this one old lady, about the lips. It needs chapstick on its lips. And I remember the veterinarian was looking at me and going, lips? Dogs don't have lips. Anyway, I grabbed this dog. I said, okay, Mrs. So-and-so, well, I'll take him back to his cage now. Yeah, you do that. Great. So I go back. I put the dog in the cage. As I'm drawing my hand out of the cage, the dog rakes his teeth. He bites my hand and rakes his teeth down the length of my finger. You know what I did? I reared back, and in those days, I used to wear these nice petroleum-based heavy leather boots with a motorcycle buckle on it because I rode a bike in those days. I reared back with my right leg, and I kicked this freaking thing about 100 yards down the hallway till it smacked into the door leading to the outside. And that dog never gave me any more trouble. Now, if I hadn't been working for the doctor, if I hadn't been in an animal hospital, and if I hadn't been, it hadn't been really an area where other people would be responsible for my actions, I would have killed it. I would have snapped its neck right there and left it right where it was. No dog, no cat, nothing, no animal, no lower form of life should be allowed to attack a human being, I don't care what the reason, and be allowed to live. Now, if you think I'm saying this for shock value, well, great. You're listening to the wrong show. Bug off. Because I'm telling you, I feel this from the very bottom of my guts. And when I read this story about this poor woman in San Francisco, I would have set fire to that guy's apartment with him and his wife in it. This woman is mauled to death, 5 minutes, and this guy's got the brass balls to write a letter to the DA 18 pages long on how it was her fault because my wife was trying to hold the animal back, but it was only so much as she could do, and of course we have 2 mastiffs in a 1-bedroom apartment, and what's that all about? What is that? And this guy is an attorney for a couple of guys in prison, and it's creepy. Now, I don't mean any reason whatsoever. If you're being attacked by a dog, what did I just say? No person should be attacked by a dog and the dog should live. If you're taunting an animal, you know, I can understand, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about an innocent human being, a guy trying to deliver the mail, somebody trying to get into their apartment, someone taking a walk, somebody who by mistake walked onto somebody's property by 3 feet, a child playing in a backyard. You know the scenarios that I'm talking about. And an animal attacks those people and hurts them, you take a gun and you put a bullet in that thing's head. No ifs, ands, or buts. And again, I like animals, but I'm telling you, these people that are got this thing for cats and dogs, and they put hats on them and glasses, and you know what? Stay away from them. Let me give you the Phil tip of the day. Stay away from anybody that puts a hat on their dog. And the other cats that, like, when you've seen these guys riding around on motorcycles with their dog on the back, yeah, that's scary too. Get away from that. You see that guy in traffic, I would pull off. Pull off and wait until he's well down the road. That's the Phil tip of the day, and we'll have more of them as we progress through our lives together. 1-800. Hey, by the way, this is the Phil Hendry Show at 1-800-449-8686. I'm told that this is spring break week for a lot of schools back east. A lot of the kids may be coming out to California, and the weather out here couldn't be better. Come on out, man. It is sunny, 85, water temperature 73. The beer is cold. The living's high. It's out of sight in California right now. No better time to come to California, of course, than late February, early March, when it really heats up. So, yeah, spring break is righteous, dude. We shred. It's out here. It's happening now. Bring the girlfriend. Bring your folks. Palm Springs, the whole thing. I think they only had a gully flood in Palm Springs. Well, they only have that every other day. It's going to be fine, okay? Go on out to the canyons there in the desert. Whoops, your car's gone. Anyway, it's going to be a sweet thing. So come on out, and when you get out here, I'm taking a vacation to Hawaii. I'm going to Cancun. I'm out of here. 1-800, I'm going someplace with the sun shining. 1-800-449-8686. A judge on Wednesday denied the bulk of a request by news organizations to unseal court documents connected to the dog mauling death of a San Francisco woman. You recall this case from last month? The woman was mauled to death by a couple of mastiffs. These are very powerfully built dogs. Some people think that these animals are bred to fight, and there's a real controversy that is ongoing and has been going on for many, many years over these so-called fighting dogs or these so-called guard dogs, whether they be a Mastiff, whether they Rottweiler is another one. Of course, we're all familiar with the Doberman. These dogs, are they safe? Are they not? Vernon Dozier joins us from Dozier Kennels. He is the owner of Dozier Kennels in Toluca Lake, California, and he joins us on our Newsmaker line to talk a little bit about this. And I know that you're in your office right now doing some work, Vernon?
Yes, right now, Phil, we're just getting ready to bring the dogs in for the evening. We generally have them in a covered run when it rains and in an open run when it's sunny. And
I can hear them. Where are they right now? The outside?
No, there's a lot of the kids who work our kennel are bringing them in right now.
Can you tell me what you think about this dog mauling case in San Francisco from the standpoint of someone who's been around dogs? And I understand that you are also a Mastiff owner?
I have owned Mastiffs on and off for about 10 years. We've got 2, Corky and Jimbo, and they're good dogs. They're tough dogs. They're very loyal dogs. They're good watchdogs, and we have found them to be good with a family. But the case in San Francisco, I think is the tip of the iceberg, and I think it's a very black iceberg.
Did I hear, Mike, seriously, was there really a story concerning these dogs and some allegation of sex in the news? And is that familiar with you, Mr. Dozier? Is that familiar to you, I should say?
Yeah. Well, what it is they since October, And we had a major dog show in Northern California in October, and a lot of the owners got together and talked about what's going on with the case. And the word is out, and the word has been out since last October, that a lot of these Mastiff owners, I don't want to say a lot of them, but I would say that there are some that are sexually abusing these animals.
Sexually abusing the dogs? Are they out of their... What, are they sick?
You know, Phil, in 1931... H.G. Wells wrote a novel entitled The Island of Dr. Moreau. And in it...
H.G. Wells wrote what? I'm sorry, you're in an office that's...
I'm sorry, I'm going to try to get out of here, Phil. Close the door here. In 1931, H.G. Wells wrote a novel entitled The Island of Dr. Moreau, and in it, an unspeakably evil scientist attempts to crossbreed animal life with human life. It is absolutely sick. It is absolutely probably impossible. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. And yet, many Mastiff owners have an obsession with their animal that is so pathological that some of them want to create a subspecies, almost an insane race of dogmen. It, to me, is...
Mastiff owners?
Absolutely, because their obsession with these dogs is beyond the pale. And these people in San Francisco and some of these other people that own these dogs, they are so completely taken with the connection to these animals. I think is very, very sick.
We're talking to Vernon Dozier. He's the owner of Dozier Kennels. He believes that some Mastiff owners sexually abuse their animals because they want some... This is insane. These are like mentally diseased people. They want to create some subspecies of man-beast.
I don't know that that all of them do. I think that most of the people that engage in this behavior are doing it simply because they are mentally disturbed. But there are a few that believe they can actually create some new breed. This is actually what has happened because people have this obsession with Mastiffs and with Dobermans because somehow they are able to project, they want to be able to project themselves onto the animal and become that animal, I guess.
1-800-449-8686 is our number. 1-800-449-8686 as we talk to Vernon Dozier about just an unbelievable tale of Mastiff owners, the very dogs that were suspect in this case of this poor woman in San Francisco being mauled to death. Now, look, there are people out there like you, Mastiff owners, who are law-abiding people, okay? And they're not prone to this kind of behavior.
That is absolutely correct, Phil, and that's why the Mastiff owners out there who are not insane, and the Mastiff and Doberman and Rottweiler owners out there who don't believe this nonsense that a superior race of dog men can be created, we need to get together and we need to talk very seriously about this because it is so unbelievable that formerly responsible dog owners would want to have sex with their own pets to create some new species, helmeted, armed with shields and spears. These dogmen would not need conventional weapons. They would have the combined strength of a man and a dog, and would be able to march upright or run on all fours, depending upon...
Is this what these people believe?
This is what they believe in some of the literature that I've seen. We'd have to eliminate... they would have to eliminate automobiles, I should say, because obviously there would be the tendency to want to chase cars, but they believe that a new superior breed of dogmen would eventually conquer the world.
This is an unbelievable tale you're telling of Mastiff and Doberman owners, some. How many would you say there are?
I think there's a significant enough number of them that healthy, sane dog owners, we all need to get together because I think there's a significant number of them enough that they're printing up literature. I saw 2 brochures from them, and we have to address this problem. And
where are they passing these brochures out? At dog shows?
They're doing it at dog shows. They're doing it at some veterinarians, some underhanded veterinarians that I don't want to mention right now, but because I'm sure they'd love to sue me. They want to be able to breed with a dog and to create the dogman race. This has been going on now for some time. And again, I think it's just pure abuse of an animal.
Well, what about this imagery that the dogman would wear a helmet and carry a spear?
That is their feeling, that the dogman the Great Dane owners are getting in on the act of spreading literature at the Westminster show. So I think a lot of people are
wanting to mate with Great Danes. Okay, so in other words, we have sick, mentally disturbed people that need to be kept out of dog shows.
I would say so, yeah. There's a lot of people who own Great Danes, a lot of them that own Mastiffs, and once they can figure out this chasing car thing, they are going to. They think they're going to rule the world or something, Phil. I think it's sick.
All right, 1-800-449-8686 is our number. You just heard the most incredible tale of some Mastiff, Rottweiler, Doberman, and Great Dane owners. And maybe these two people up in San Francisco owned the dog that killed that lady are in this group who are so into their dogs, so pathological about their dogs, they think they can mate with them or have sex with them. Now, he thinks that they're actually some Mastiff owners are actually sexually abusing the dogs, and to some extent, because they're printing up literature and passing it out at dog shows. Unbelievable. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendry Show. One 1-800-449-8686. Vernon Dozier is joining us from Dozier Kennels, where the story he is telling us with regard to Mastiff owners. Now, I don't know whether you heard this or not, but there was some allegation the two people that own the Mastiffs in San Francisco that killed that woman may have been sexually abusing, believe it or not, may have been sexually abusing these dogs. And joining us is Vernon Dozier from the Vernon Dozier Kennels, because you've seen literature from people who are Mastiff owners and Doberman owners.
That is correct, Phil. It's at some of the dog shows.
At some of the dog shows.
And what we do is we try to keep them out of...
Well, how do you know if these are people that are psycho? How do you know which ones are psycho dog sex abusers and people who are normal Mastiff owners?
Some of the telltale signs that you see are people who would be prone to sexually abuse their dog or cat, or any animal for that matter, is when they try to anthropomorphize the animal. People that dress a dog up. And the dog breeders, by the way, are taken over by the desire to pass on their own genes. But the idea that the dog is being sexually abused can generally be seen if the dog is being dressed up. You see animals, anybody that rides around with a dog on their back of their motorcycle
is sexually abusing their dog.
I think there's a good chance of it, yeah. I hate to say it. I think that...
Wow.
Absolutely. I think that when you see a dog in a hat, in a sweater, wearing sunglasses, there is a very good chance that the owner of that animal is molesting it. And I will tell you right now, I don't like it. It makes me angry.
Well, what if for me, a guy, I don't own a pet, but if I see a dog in a park wearing sunglasses and a hat,
I would call the Humane Society. Anyone who allows a dog in the front seat of a car, I mean, if you look at dogs sitting next to someone in the front seat of a car, how do you know that they're not, there isn't some pathology on the part of the owner to fondle that animal or otherwise sexually abuse it? That's what we're worried about.
All right, so the what you're talking about here now are...
These are the trigger points.
You're talking about these telltale signs that a dog is being sexually abused.
That's correct.
If a person rides around with a dog on the back of their motorcycle, if a person puts sunglasses or a hat on the dog...
And also if you see a lot of these perverted... Excuse me, Phil, these perverted bastards that will sit there and kiss a dog or let it lick their face. To me, that's the most disgusting. And the other thing, too, is...
Well, I've seen that.
Well, then, did you call anyone? Because...
in other words, if a dog is licking its master's face...
They are probably having active sex. The other thing that is a sure tip-off that a dog is being sexually abused is if it wears a bandana around its neck or has its picture taken and put on a Christmas card. These are huge red flags for the Animal Protection Agency.
Good. I got a Christmas card with someone's pet.
Then I would get their address. Okay, so if you see a dog on a Christmas card, you see it driving around on the back of a motorcycle, you should call them immediately. And, one other thing, Phil, and I think this is a tip-off. And
I hope my listeners are getting this down.
Yeah, let me go through it again. Dogs that wear bandanas, dogs that ride on motorcycles, dogs that lick their master's face, or dogs with that other thing, whatever the hell it was, they should be, they're being sexually abused.
Okay, now you mentioned one other thing about in the house.
Well, if anybody who lets a dog sleep at the foot of their bed or on their bed, they are actively molesting that animal. So I am appealing to people to give that dog a home. Get that dog out of that house that it's in and give that animal a home, because I'm telling you, Phil, having a framed picture of a pet around the house is also a huge clue that the person who owns that dog is having sex with it every single night. And
well, wait, it's amazing, because I know in my life I have seen pictures of dogs in houses.
Yep, that's right.
And I have seen dogs riding on the backs of motorcycles.
Look at Phil. What we're talking about is trying to keep this kind of abuse of animals from actually creating some subspecies of dogman, which we think could take over the world. And that is our fear, more than anything else.
I understand. 1-800-449-8686. Vernon Dozier has joined us and has outlined a gruesome tale, really, of the sexual abuse of animals. Now, how can you help? Look for these warning signs. If you go into a friend's house and they have a picture of their pet that is framed, they're probably sexually abusing that animal. If the dog is wearing a bandana, if the animal rides on the back of a motorcycle,
or in the front seat of the car,
thank you, Vernon, on the front seat of the car, they're probably sexually abusing the animal.
Keeping the dog, by the way, Phil, in your own backyard only is like keeping an abused wife. Some dog owners try to keep their animal only for themselves. They become jealous spouses. So just keeping the dog in the backyard and not taking it for a walk also means they're probably having repeated sex with it, just over a 9-hour period.
Good God!
That's right.
The other thing that you wrote down is if the dog sleeps at the foot of the bed or on the bed.
Now, a lot of guys tell me that their girlfriend allows their dog to sleep on the bed.
I've actually encountered that.
I have too. In fact, my wife, when I first met her, but that's what I'm trying to say. So all of these things need to be taken into consideration.
And I know there's a number for people to call.
This is the Vernon Dozier Kennels Dog Sex Abuse Hotline, 213-251-3189. That's 213-251-3189. And those sunglasses, that's a sure sign of repeated sex with an animal.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on and giving us some of the heads up on what I think is going to prove to be a horrific problem, just a terrible problem, and that is this kind of abuse of an animal. Now, the dog mauling case in San Francisco, where the two people who owned these dogs, I'm not saying that this is what's going on, but there were allegations, okay, that the dog was perhaps these two dogs were being sexually abused. These allegations came out during the preliminaries before there's some kind of a trial, okay, for this, to find out if there should be a trial.
I understand that, Phil, and that's why we're having a very difficult time trying to determine just exactly what happened. But I will tell you this, that it is very important that you turn these dog molesters in.
All right, let me go to a phone call here. Amy, you're on the Phil Hendry Show. Hello.
Yes, I just have to say that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
What is, ma'am?
That if you let your dog sleep with you on the bed, you're molesting it?
I think there's a 90% chance that there is some kind of molestation going on, yes.
Excuse me?
I think there's a very good chance that there's some molestation going on of the animal, yes.
Oh my God! How can you even say that?
How can I say that? Because this is the indication we're getting.
But you don't even own a dog. First of all,
yes, I own two mastiffs.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you're the dog guy.
I'm not having sex with my dogs.
Well, I know plenty of people who love their animals greatly, and
why are they on the bed? What's that about?
Because they don't want.
What's that all about?
They don't want to make them lay on the floor.
Oh well, that's just horrible.
I think
we need to keep our eye on individuals that are sexually molesting animals. I think it's wrong. We all need to keep our eyes open for these sick people before a dogman race takes over the world. Now, these people want to have sex with the dogs to create a race of dogmen.
Well, we all know that that's impossible.
All right, well, that may be impossible. What do you mean we all? Well, how do you know?
Well, if it's possible, I'm sure some scientists in the United States would have found out by now.
Do you dress your dog up?
Do I dress it up? No.
Do you put a bandana on him or something?
No, there's no bandana on my dog. But that just because she lays in my bed does not mean I'm molesting her.
Yeah. And why is she laying in your bed?
Because she loves me.
Oh, I see. She told you that too, didn't she?
She is a golden retriever. Anyone with a golden retriever knows.
By licking your face? Did she lick your face?
No, she doesn't lick my face.
Good, thank God. You know, what's she wearing when she's laying in your bed?
Excuse me?
What does she wear when she lays in your bed?
What does she wear?
Yes, ma'am.
She doesn't wear anything.
Proof. So the dog's nude.
The dog...
Wait. All dogs are...
Oh, I'm sick. No, you're laying in bed with a nude dog. Jesus. Give me a break.
1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. One 800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. I'd like to thank Vernon Dozier for being with us and alerting us to the possible threat of a race of dogmen taking over the world. Now we'd like to play a game on the Phil Hendrie Show.
To call yourself an animal, or they think in the parlance of the way the kids talk today, it's, that's gay, is what they say. Oh, that sounds gay. Everything's gay now to these kids, No, that's gay. This is gay. Do you want to do some homework? No, that's gay. And I'll say, well, how about we do some wind sprints? Get ready for our two-a-days. Oh no, that's gay. I said, if you want to see gay, I'll show you gay. And that's sometimes what you have to do, because I don't personally like that term. I think it's
a little offensive. Yeah, it's sort of a colloquial that has nothing to do with hate so much as silly or something that's wrong.
Yes, I know, but the kids have got to be taught, Phil. When they say that's gay, and I'll say to them, so you call that gay, huh? And the kid says, yes. Let me show you gay, and you'll make a move. You start to unzip and make a move on them.
What?
No. I'm not saying really. But
well, no. What are you doing?
No, I'm saying if the kid says to you, "Oh, that's gay," I said, if you think that's gay, watch this. So you start to unzip your fly.
Yeah. Are these kids your students?
Yes. You're not going to tell me that's wrong, are you?
Well, how far down do you...
well, you're look at, Phil, I take this kind of hatred, and I don't want any of my students...
But it's not really a hate-based thing when a kid says that's gay.
I don't want any of my players or my students even hinting at any kind of hatred, homophobia, racism, anything. And when a kid says to me, no, Coach, we don't do that, that's gay, I said, okay, you call that gay, what do you call this? And my pants, I unbuckle my...
You're kidding. Well, you're joking, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm joking, then may God give me cancer of the eyes. May I literally go blind from an eating cancer that goes into my brain. If you think I'm kidding. Because
are you telling me...
let me, the better question is, why do you find this shocking?
Well, how far... I wanted to talk to you about this name, the jihadists.
Yes, that's what I thought I was on your program for.
Well, but you're telling me when the kids use the term, which is a very common term that a lot of young men use, let's be very clear, hey, that's gay, it's often to mean silly or stupid or I don't want to do that.
But you see, they're associating the word gay, which is the cultural term for our homosexuals or men, and they're attributing to that or ascribing to that something negative, and I don't want them to do that. And so in order for me to teach and reinforce that there should be no homophobia on my team, no racism, nothing. And I learned this by reading Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi had a couple of gay players on the Green Bay Packers, which we get a big laugh out of that, as I'm sure all of us would. And
why?
Well, I got to spell it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Anyway, I said, one of my players said, I don't want to do wind sprints, Coach. We're going to do them in 2 days, and I don't want to do them. He said, that's gay. I said, really? You think that's gay? Well, try this on for size. And I unbuckled my pants. And I made my move.
I made my move. Oh man, I can't do it anymore. It's just no money there's no money on earth. Oh man, that guy Dozier, I love him. Okay, I'm done. I have no idea why. Is David on? Oh, there, David?
Yeah, I've been sitting here for 5 minutes. Now, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
The cat said something funny.
What?
He said...
Come on, let me in on the joke.
You know what, man? It ain't funny anymore now that you're here.
Oh, thanks a lot. So, in other words...
Get rid of him, will you? Let me in on the joke. I'm sorry, folks, if some portion of the show tonight just feels silly. I don't know. But this cat... The dude's like, well, I made my move. How many years you been making that move, Coach? You know, you're teaching those boys. Every year we have a new class. And if you think that's gay, and I unbuckled my pants and made my move. Okay, I can't go on. I'll be right back. Phil Hendry Show.
Phil Hendry, 1-800-449-8686. 8686.
Sir, Marco, you are a part-time, you teach martial arts, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
And you also have a cabinet-making business?
Well, I do. Primarily, I'm involved in doing remodeling, but I do get a great deal of pleasure out of teaching martial arts. And I suppose, more than anything, and a lot of
1-800-449-8686.
Paul McNamara joins us with the organization Pets Best Friend, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the well-being of domestic pets. And, Paul, welcome to our program.
It's always a pleasure, Phil.
And we also have Bill Sully, the general counsel with Pets Best Friend. Bill, how are you?
I'm very good.
Gentlemen, let's talk about your organization because it is not a animal rights organization per se. It's sort of a alternative group. Isn't that right, Paul?
Well, I wouldn't call us an alternative group. Here is where our organization differs, Phil, from most. When we chartered in 1998, Bill and I made specific reference to the need that we not include in the definition of a legitimate domestic pet cats, felines.
Why is that?
Well, there are a million reasons why. I think most people would agree that cats are not. Most people, I think, would agree that cats are not legitimate pets because they lack the most significant quality domestic pets in general share. They do not respect or respond to the fundamental, if you want to call it, the fundamental supremacy of the human. Human beings, for all of our faults, are the highest form of life on the planet, and all domestic animals know this and respect this. Cats do not. The other reason I think Bill can illuminate or expand on this is that cats are not a well-liked pet. They do not respond the way dogs do.
Well, the idea, Phil, came to us when we were chartering Pet's Best Friend, is that cats, as Bill said, as Paul said, rather, do not share domestic animals' respect for human beings, and that pets, in general, domestic pets, have that quality. The reason why I am speaking with you tonight as a general counsel is we have been threatened with 2 or 3 lawsuits from cat owners over the propositions that we've made.
All right, I know a lot of people who have cats and love cats. They seem to enjoy that animal's independent qualities. Is that something that you respond to? Or?
Well, I think it's pretty sorry excuse for a person to try and drag love out of an animal that is too selfish to give it. And when you see what happened to Roy Horn in Las Vegas, Bill, I think you would agree it was the handwriting on the wall.
Well, here was a gentleman, Mr. Horn, who was in Las Vegas, who's being fed from a tube, and the reason is because of a cat.
But you're talking about a white tiger. That's an enormous-sized animal.
I understand the difference, but the mentality is the same. The average so-called house, and I say so-called, by the way, Mr. Andrew, because we do not recognize there's such a thing really as a house cat. The average cat, were it large enough, would do the same thing to its owner that Roy Horn's cat did to him. A cat will betray you the way Judas betrayed Jesus Christ, and then I think, Paul, you had a good analogy.
They will definitely, a cat will sell you out and clean its paws and go to sleep. And that's, I think, the most offensive thing about this animal.
How did you get to this philosophy? I'm interested because my family, we have a couple of cats. My kids enjoy them. The thing about a cat is they don't give affection the way a dog does, but they do play. They're affectionate in their own way.
Well, I'll tell you that as long as you have cats, I think your family's in jeopardy because...
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, let me point this out. When I was in college, I was living with a very beautiful Mexican-American girl, probably one of the most beautiful Latin women I've ever met. We met where she worked. We moved in together. We were very passionate, but she did have these 2 black Burmese cats, and I, of course, tried to get to know them, but they didn't do the things a dog would do. They wouldn't lick your face. They wouldn't come over when they were called. They did not do anything a dog would do. Lie down. I used to try to get them to fetch things.
Well, I got to jump in here. Cats don't do those things.
But I had not been exposed to cats, so I was looking at them with a pair of unbiased eyes. And what I saw was that other people can't see is the pure arrogance of this animal and the fact that it would sell you and its own mother in the same lot. And
let me give you an example, Phil, if I could.
Let me jump in and just say we're talking to Bill Sully and Paul McNamara of Pet's Best Friend. Bill is the general counsel. Paul is the... And we're talking about... You guys are talking about getting rid of cats because they are not really a house cat, because there is something fundamentally dishonest and sort of, I guess, disloyal about them?
Well, I want to give you an example of the mindset of these animals. When Paul lived with Gloria, and I knew Gloria briefly, one of these cats, and Paul, you probably tell it better, but one of these cats had killed a bird and had brought it to the back door where there was a mat.
That is correct, and it laid it on the mat. And when I saw that, I looked at the cat, and the cat was looking at me with one thought in its mind. You could see what the cat was thinking. You see this bird? If I could do that to you? And my blood ran cold. And if you've seen cats, the thing about a cat's eyes are when you're looking at their eyes are like doll's eyes. Until they hunt, then they roll back white, and you hear that high-pitched screaming. And I'll never forget that day.
Well, all right. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. Cats are fundamentally disloyal animals, and as such should not be classified as a protected domestic pet.
That is correct. And what that would mean, Bill, is removing them from the idea that they're a protected domestic pet, so that they're not subjected to the same animal cruelty laws, I guess.
Well, that is correct. You would not have cats under the aegis of the ASPCA. You would not have cats under the aegis of the Humane Society. These would be animals considered to be feral, considered to be wild. And let me explain. There is no one on earth who detests everything Hitler stood for more than myself or Pet's best friend. And no one on earth who stands in greater admiration for the Japanese-American people and what they suffered in World War II. I don't agree with that at all. But the Japanese internment camps did not have gas chambers. They didn't have death squad. What we are proposing through Pet's Best Friend, and we're ready to help fund the building of internment camps for 30 million so-called domestic cats. The camps can be placed in 2 or 3 southwestern states, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and eventually have these animals resettled in the wild or in some other country. We can resolve this through the United Nations, if you will. But that could handle this number of so-called domestic house cats until there is resolution.
But the point is that we are finally addressing the problem.
Well, here's the problem. The problem is a lot of people love cats.
A lot of people love cats until they realize that these animals have absolutely no loyalty. If they were human beings, they would slit your throat from ear to ear. And I mean this. I can tell you, Phil, the Burmese cats that Gloria had, my girlfriend, we were going to get married. If I told her that I didn't want these cats in our home, she insisted that they stay. I let the cats out. I opened the door and let them get out because I love this girl. And when I say she was beautiful, she was gorgeous, I let the cats out. We eventually got engaged, and we eventually did get married. But I told her eventually, about a year into our marriage, that I had let the cats go. And the hold these animals had over her, when she found out that I let the cats out of the house on purpose, she left the house. She moved out of the house and eventually divorced me. Now,
well, because you lied to her. You said that the cats ran away or something, and you let them out.
That's not the point. The point is I was saving.
If I could jump in, this is Bill Sully. When you are talking about a family that you love, and you are trying to create an environment of affection, having a house cat, and the way that animal looked at you that day, Paul?
Well, that cat looked up at me.
Look, cats do that. They kill birds. They kill mice. They lay them on the mat as a way of showing the master of the house that they're doing their job.
That is a misnomer.
What do you mean it's a misnomer?
That is not what the case is. The case is, in my opinion, it's a threat. A threat to the owner that I will do to you what I did to this bird. So help me Christ.
No, all right, let me hold on for a minute. 1-800-449-8686. We're talking with Paul McNamara and Bill Sully of Pet's Best Friend about house cats. They do not want them to be recognized as legitimate domestic pets. They want them taken off of that list so that they are no longer protected by the ASPCA or the Humane Society. They believe these are fundamentally feral wild animals with no real loyalty or respect for human beings. And in point of fact, they use what happened to Roy Horn in Las Vegas as an example. Roy Horn, as you know, was injured by that white tiger in the Tiger Act. 1-800-449-8686. Should cats eventually be removed from domestic house pet status and removed from the American home? 1-800-449-8686, The Phil Hendry Show.
The Phil Hendry Show, 1-800-449-8686. We eat kittens. 8686. The Phil Hendry Show is back.
I'm talking with Paul McNamara and Bill Sully of Pet's Best Friend. It is a non-profit organization dedicated to the well-being of domestic pets. You gentlemen are at the Los Angeles Greyhound Terminal, is that right?
Yes, Phil, that is correct.
And Mr. Sully, why is that?
The reason why we're here, Phil, is because we have received threats, and we are leaving the Los Angeles area briefly. We're going to try to continue our work and try to appeal to Sacramento, but we have to do it from an area from an undisclosed location. And this is a very unfortunate reality when you're dealing with controversial legislation that is designed to help people. We have received threats from individuals who call themselves cat lovers, but we need to let everyone know that the cat, and we are speaking specifically now, the domestic house cat, is a threat to the well-being of the owners. And if they were big enough, if they were humans, if cats were human beings, Phil, this is what we like to say. If a cat was a human being, he would slit your throat while you slept. He would.
My cat, the cat that we have, our little cat, his name is Ruffy, he sleeps with my daughter.
he sleeps with your daughter. If he were big enough and he were a human being, he would do to your daughter what that man did to Elizabeth Smart. Abduct her, take her into the forest, and turn her into a sex slave hostage for 9 to 12 months.
This is an animal that has no...
Phil, the point is the domestic cat, this little furry cat that everyone thinks they understand and love, is a ticking time bomb. And if you've got one in your own home, we feel the best thing to do, and we've been threatened. I'm at a bus station. I've got 2 tickets for Bill and myself to get out of town because of what's happened with these cat owners.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Jonathan, you're on the air here with Bill Sully and Paul McNamara of Pet's Best Friend. Go ahead. Jonathan? Well, I lost Jonathan.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, Jonathan, go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, we can hear you, Jonathan. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Go right ahead, sir. You're on the air.
Thank you. I just had a comment for the 2 gentlemen. I've had a minx cat since it was a little tiny kitten, and that cat, when it got older, was very loving, very affectionate. They'd go catch rabbits and birds and bring them, and they'd leave them. She would never eat them until I told her it was okay and petted her. So they can't be as bad as these gentlemen are making out. That's all I had to say, sir.
The reason I said what I said, Jonathan, is when the cat brought that rattlesnake to your back door, did it ever occur to you that the cat is showing to you what he'd like to do to you?
Well, I don't think the cat's mentality is that great. I think it just hunts out in Mother Nature's respect. That's their line in the wild, is their line in domestic life as far as the cat is concerned. But it doesn't cause or any threat to humans.
Well, here is what my point, I guess, is, and Bill made this point, Jonathan. Women who are abused in their homes have a very hard time admitting that a husband is beating them, so they stay in the home even though it's dangerous. This is the same way owners of cats hesitate trying to get away from the cat. They refuse to admit the cat is dangerous, even though they should get away from it. And we're simply saying we don't want to harm the animal. We'd like to have them resettled in an aboriginal area, an area that could be described as feral, wild, within certain confines. We'd like to airdrop all the cats if we could, and this would be in association with a variety of countries. Is the gentleman there?
Jonathan, you're on a kind of a two-way that's kind of scratchy, but we appreciate your call. 1-800-449-8686 is the number here on the Phil Hendrie Show. You talking about airdropping?
Phil, I'll take that question. Cats, first of all, it would be very expensive to resettle the cats, domestic cats here in the United States, but there could be a single airdrop administered by the United Nations where the cats would be parachuted into a jungle-like area, for instance.
All right, we got a little bit of a quirk on our line there. I'm sorry. Bill, did you say something?
No, it's Paul.
Yeah, Phil, the expense comes in developing some kind of a parachute that would be applicable to an animal, and I don't know how that is, but we have put our resources behind that, but they obviously be a much smaller parachute.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Tammy, go ahead.
Do you guys really think that your cat is going to stand over your bed at night and try to slice your throat?
No, ma'am, of course not. No, of course not. What I'm saying to you is this. It is a disloyal animal, and it does not respect for all of our faults, the supremacy of human life on this planet. And I mentioned that my girlfriend...
Hang on, give me 1 second. I've had dogs my entire life. I love dogs,
yes,
and I hated the fact that I've moved to California, got an apartment where I can't have dogs. Went out and I got a kitten. God loves this thing. He plays fetch. He plays hide and seek. He is crazy. He goes for walks outside. He's like a little dog. He got hurt. I'll tell you this really quick. He got hurt and showed so much affection when we brought him home from the hospital.
Well, that's their way of lying.
No, he's not lying.
It's a dishonest animal. He's a liar.
It's genuine.
Let me ask you this.
He's so much more innocent than we are.
Can I ask you a question, ma'am?
Sure.
For you, that's fine. I had probably a woman that I wanted to stay married to.
I heard your story.
She had more loyalty to a cat than she had to me. I don't blame her.
Well, maybe there was something underlying there. Maybe she saw something. I don't know. I'm sorry.
You know something? No, ma'am. I blame the cat, and it's lying, and it's arrogance.
You're blaming something, with a brain
and the
so
animal,
tiny compared to yours.
Phil, this is Bill Sully.
Go ahead, Bill.
I just wanted to mention to the lady that the idea that an animal like a cat will kill a bird or a rat or what have you and bring it to the back mat in your home.
Dogs will kill. They're hunting dogs. They used to be wild.
They don't display it to the master of the house as if to say, "You're next."
Look at pit bulls.
Wait a minute. When are you saying you're next? Like you said...
No, they're not big enough to kill you, but they lay that dead bird as if to say, "Oh, what I wouldn't give to do this to you."
No, that's not what they're saying.
All right, ma'am, you have fun with your cat. I don't know what... Has this cat of yours ever needed one of your... Does he need you at night on your arm or your leg or your sweater? This is an aggressive sign.
He lays at the foot of my bed every single night. When I wake up, he runs, he goes into my son's room, and he wakes up my son by licking his face.
I can tell you. See, you're laughing, and it kind of insults me that you don't take me seriously.
No, I am. I find it absurd. I'm sorry.
Well, you find it absurd?
Well, you guys are talking about developing small parachutes to drop...
That's absurd.
That is an idea that we
You think the United Nations is really going to get in on this when there is... people are starving, there's diseases.
No, I do not. No, I do not. No, you're right.
Parachuting cats into a remote island somewhere so they can't populate the world?
All right, I can play for you the sound of an animal. This was tracked by the United Nations wildlife biologists, and this is the sound of an animal, a cat, a Burmese cat, that is angry, and through high-pitched technology, you're able to isolate the, I guess you could call it the aggressive sound. Go ahead and play this if you wouldn't mind. To you, that sounds like a meow. To me, that sounds like the silent scream of a shark that is heading in for the kill.
All right, Tammy, thank you for your call. 1-800-449-8686. Domestic cats, according to Pets Best Friend, a nonprofit organization for the well-being of domestic pets, cats need to go. They need to be taken out of the American home. They're an aggressive and hateful animal, and they do not respect the, quote, supremacy of human life. 1-800-449-8686. We'll get into making these small parachutes to do a single drop into jungle territory when we get back on The Phil Hendrie Show.
The Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. Hey, Jackball, it's entertainment. The Phil Hendrie Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
All right, I'm back with Paul McNamara and Bill Sully, who's the general counsel of Pets Best Friend, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the well-being of domestic pets. You guys think the first thing that has to be done is that cats get taken off of any list of protected domestic pet, that they are to be... You used Japanese-American internment as some example.
Well, I think there needs to be some kind of a roundup. We do not want to have an extermination of these animals. We do believe that they are viable in the wild. What we do want, though, is a safe drop, 130,000 drop, utilizing a light nylon parachute, single feline. You understand what I'm saying?
So this can be accomplished with a C-130 Hercules transport plane over any areas, uninhabited areas of Papua New Guinea or the archipelago islands. These cats can then continue to live in a habitat they were born into, and they will not be fettered by humans that they have no common decent respect for.
The common decency, I think, is the idea here. I don't want to live with them if they can't even give me the courtesy of a domestic. A dog will lick your face, a cat. You know, I used to do work in my office. The cat would come in and use the cat box while I'm trying to get work done, and they stink. And that is, see again, when it's...
Well, it's just an animal doing what an animal does.
But it is a sign of disrespect that when you're in the middle of trying to get something done and the animal comes in and uses the box, uses the toilet, as if to say...
1-800-449-8686. I'm going to go to Angela. Angela, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show. Or hold on, Angela, if you wouldn't mind for just a moment. I go to Amy. Amy, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, Amy, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering about the impact of dropping thousands of feral cats into pristine jungle situations where they can kill off tons of native wildlife. Feral cats just in the U.S. kill loads of migrant and endangered bird species all the time, and you're talking about dropping?
Well, I don't know. First of all, the endangered bird species you're talking about are animals that have been transported in this country illegally. If you're talking about wild parrots, those animals should.
No, I'm not talking about wild parrots. I'm talking about migrant birds species native to the U.S. Cats kill loads of them all the time. It's a big problem. So you're going to drop them off in the middle of the jungle with no consideration of what the impact will be on the local wildlife?
Well, that's what cats do. And if cats were allowed to do what they do, you would see much more of an eco-balance than you see today. Let me give you an example, too. This is a normal cat. This is a normal not glottal, I should say, glottal sound from a cat. Listen to this. We took that sound and were able, the University of Miami has an audio lab, we were able to slow this down and to a much slower pace and also to highlight the low end, and this is what it sounds like. Now, I would say to the caller, if that doesn't sound like a lion, and that is an angry lion,
so you'd like
then my name is Captain Kangaroo.
Living happily
I'm Mr. Green Jeans.
You're going to take cats that are living happily in homes, not bothering any wildlife, drop them all into the jungle where they can completely throw off the ecological balance of the entire ecosystem there.
You got a lot of concern for ecological. You got no concern for humans. I'm telling you, I'm sick of them.
Where's the research?
Well, no, but the lady is saying...
Where's the research showing all the cat attacks and all the fatal domestic house cat attacks?
I didn't say there were any fatal attacks. I did say that.
Then why are they a ticking time bomb if we've never actually had a documented case of a cat?
Because they are lying, something.
But what's the actual danger in my house? What's the danger in my home?
Ma'am, that cat hates you.
Right, but where's the danger? I don't care. Maybe I like animals.
I can understand why.
Well, that's not necessary.
Well, let me take over. This is Bill Sully. Amy, how are you?
Fine.
Good. This one cat, the one that dropped the dead bird on the doormat over at Paul's house, it would watch Paul and Gloria making love.
That's fine, but
like it was judging them.
Where's
like
the
it was
danger,
judging
though?
Paul.
Where's the danger in the house that we have to remove them from home?
You know what? I don't like you either.
Where's the danger?
Okay, neither one of them wants to talk to you. Thank you for calling, though.
Is she gone?
Yes.
All right, she's gone, Bill. I was going to go and...
Are you guys going to catch a bus, or...
We're on our way to... we don't want to tell anybody where we're going.
But it's because of the threats you've received from cat owners.
That is correct.
Let me go over here to Angela. Hi, Angela. You're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I totally agree with Amy. I have to be on her side. I have never had a threat from a cat, ever. I have raised cats all my life for 38 years almost.
I think that you were deluded, ma'am. I think the cat has you in a position where you want to believe it's not going to hurt you.
It's the human race. Where have you heard a cat has attacked? Yes, the only reason a cat has attacked is because the human race has been rude to that cat, had abused
let me say this.
Cat.
Maybe the cat hasn't attacked, but let's talk about this for a second. Why, in the 3 years that I was married to a beautiful Mexican-American woman, Gloria, did this thing always have to stare at me while I was trying to, be masculine?
So what? My cats stare at me and my husband making love all the time. So what? It's like a cat.
Have you asked your husband?
A cat?
So what? What's your husband think about it?
Oh, he loves cats, too. We both love cats.
But does he want it staring at him?
We love all animals, huh?
Hey, can I jump in? Angela, my name's Bill Sully. I'm general counsel. How are you?
Good.
Good. Paul is talking about a cat's tendency not to respect even the most private moments that a human being can enjoy. Whether you're sitting on the toilet, for instance.
That's the same as having a kid around. What are you going to do? He's like,
you're not going to sit and use the toilet with a kid staring at you. But the cat wants to get into the bathroom and see what you're doing. Cats are they're the nosiest bastards, and excuse my language.
So what? It's like cats are not a threat to society.
I'd like to
You have that wrong. Your tests have it wrong. Those are two different races species. That's a wild animal. A lion or a tiger. You cannot tame that.
Roy Horn, what happened to Roy Horn can happen to you. Now listen to this domestic cat, so to speak.
That is bull, because there's you cannot judge a wild cow from Africa from a domestic cat.
Are you saying, let me jump in here, Angela, are you saying, okay, can you not for a moment, are you saying that sound is a domestic house cat slowed down?
That is correct. So what I'm trying to say to you, Angela, is that is the sound of a domestic house cat's real
What about the human race? What about all these human people who rape children and stuff? What are you going to do about them? You know,
I'm a human
animals
being.
are so loving. You know,
I'm a
my
human
cats
being.
are so loving.
Listen to this.
You were wrong. And you know what? Any place you go, you're going to be banned anywhere.
Ma'am, I would say to you,
any place you go, you're going to be banned anywhere. So hear me this.
That I'm a way better, I'm higher on the evolutionary ladder than a cat. Are you kidding me or what?
I'd rather have my cats around than you around.
See, Angela, we are leaving town. We're at the Greyhound bus station right now.
Good, leave town, because any place you go, you're going to be banned. You know,
who's going to ban? I mean, we've gotten
I have so many foundations for cats. It's like,
you know what, Angela?
Ban you.
You talk about human beings raping. You won't need to worry about rape when that cat has your neck between its teeth.
Oh, my cat has never ever. I've had cats all my life. My friends have cats all their life.
You know what? You can have cats your whole life. Just remember.
How did a dog?
Your cat is staring at you.
They had to put it down because he turned on their kids. He growled at them almost bit the little girl. They had to put it down and sleep.
I think you're making it all up.
I swear, I am not making it up.
You heard that meow? Now listen to what its real intention is for you.
Oh, that is BS.
Listen to what
You cannot take a wild tiger or lion and try to tame it. You know?
Well,
come on. You don't have to be a rocket scientist
Angela,
to judge that.
Can I just tell you something? That both Paul and I are leaving town because we've received death threats from cat owners like yourself.
Well, any place you go, you're going to receive them. I'm sorry, because there's so many cat lovers, you know. And
yeah, listen to that.
Have you ever experienced a cat turned on you?
That cat
have you ever experienced a cat turning on you?
Hey, Roy Horn. 3 words for you, Roy Horn.
Can you answer the question?
All right.
Yes, I did. The cat ruined my marriage to a beautiful Mexican woman. That cat ruined my marriage. No
oh, my God.
All right, listen, Angela, thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Marriage? I think you ruined your marriage.
Thank you very much for your call.
Mr. Henry, I was given to understand that I would be on your radio show with individuals who are intelligent, and that chick...
She reminds you of Gloria, doesn't she?
She sure does. It's good, Bill, that you're with me. Bill and I, by the way, are going to be getting married.
You guys are gay?
Yes, we are. We're gay. We have a pets non-profit organization, and we hate cats. That's kind of out there, but
it works for us. And we're leaving town because of the threats, but we'll go away somewhere. We don't want to mention where we're going, but it's Desert Hot Springs.
Nice going.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is your bus there yet?
Oh, geez, we're at the airport.
We got to go.
All right, so that's the 2 idiots that are, so that's the normal sound, but there's the real sound of a cat. This is the real sound when slow it down, and this is what they sound like.
Jesus, it makes my blood run cold. Meow my ass.
All right. Okay. Ah! You know, I've had a cat stare at me after he snapped the neck of a bird. I never thought he was looking up and thinking, you're next. All right, 1-800-449-8686. By the way, if you'd like to contact Pet's best friends, we'll give you that address before the show is over tonight. 1-800-449-8686. The world-famous Phil Hendry Show will continue in a moment.
The Phil Hendry Show, 1-800-449-8686. Kittens are tasty.